It is 3:30 now. I am hungry. I haven't had lunch. Therefore, there is a Big Mac on the screen. And we're going to use this Big Mac to explain something called if functions. And if functions, if you've never done them before, you probably don't even realize you're doing it every single day in everything you do. Other people do it, babies do it, everyone does it. And basically, what an if function does is you're setting a criteria, a condition for doing something, right? If you're a baby, for example, and you don't like pickles, you're going to say, if that thing has pickles on it, I'm not going to eat it. Which means if it does have pickles in it, I will eat it. And that's basically how if functions work. It's just a set of logic. And the reason we have to do this is because we have to tell the computer what to do. Computers don't think like humans. Therefore, we have to set the conditions for it to take action. Okay, so here in our example, we have a very delicious, cheesy Big Mac with salty pickles and hopefully extra onions. Maybe it comes with some nuggets and chips and apple pie and maybe a chocolate sundae, right? If this thing has some sort of condition, let's say if it has lettuce, right? Then I'm going to do something, right? It does have lettuce, hence we're going to go in the true section and I'm going to eat it. That's my outcome. So that is my true outcome. Okay, let's do another one. And let's change this to something else. Let's say, does it have bacon? Okay, so if the burger has bacon, then eat it. If it doesn't have bacon, then don't eat it. In that case, we know that Big Mac doesn't have bacon, so it's going to go here, and we're not going to eat it. Computers do the same thing when it comes to thinking this way. The syntax or the way you write it is a very specific way. Any computer programming language you find, it's pretty much the same. If you then you put your condition, comma, or whatever it might be, then what your outcome is if it's true, and then what your outcome is if it's false. That's basically how if functions work. Let's go ahead and do that in Tableau, and I'll show you how it works. I have here my subcategories, and we want to do an if function on one of them. I've got sales here. Let's bring in sales. I'm just going to put it in the labels. And I only want to show a value if the subcategory equals a certain word. For example, let's say I want it to equal chairs. If it's chairs, then I want you to show the value. Otherwise, if it's not, I don't want you to show any of the values. All right, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to create a calculated field like so. And let's actually bring this to the side here so we can see it at the same time. So we're going to go chairs if, right? And we're going to go if, and I'll go really slowly here, right? And we'll do it a few times so you can really get used to it. If subcategory, and I can do a number of things here. I can grab it from here and drop it in, right? I can type in subcategory, click on that. I can go subcategory and press tab on my keyboard. I can even grab it from up here, right? So if subcategory is equal to quotation marks, right? Chairs, oops, did I spell that right? Chairs, and be very careful. This is, I believe, case sensitive. So if I do, actually, we can test this. If I do capital chairs, that is not the equivalent of this chair because the case sensitivity doesn't match. So general practice, doesn't matter what software program you use, always be cautious of case sensitivity, even if the computer doesn't, even if the software doesn't care about it, always uh, assume that it is case sensitive, right? And there's a few tricks you can do here actually. You can do upper, right? And what upper does is it converts the entire text to capitals, okay? That's all it does. We'll go through that in a bit more detail, but that's one little trick you can use for any program that you use to make sure it'll always match, okay? Let's actually get rid of that. I don't want to use it for this example. Let's just do chairs. Whoops, oh, I did it again, right? If it's chairs, okay, meaning if that condition is true, what are we going to do? We're going to go, then we're going to show the sales. Let's grab sales. But if it's not true, else, we just wanted to write 0, okay? And then to close off the if function, we're just going to go end, all right? So before I press enter, let's go through the structure a little bit. And let's bring this up next to our burger example. If I minimize that, the whole thing will minimize. So let's bring that up there, right? Let's bring this here. It's the same thing. I've got my if, right? My condition, which is this part here, does it equal or not, basically. My true condition and my false condition. Okay, let's go ahead and use that now. Let's bring that open. We'll go okay, okay. We got the chairs if, and I'm going to, let's add that in. I think I can add it next to it. Like, oops, sorry, in here, right? And maybe that's a bit hard to see actually. Let's just get rid of this one. Let's bring in chairs if. And as you can see, it only shows me this one because that condition was true. Chairs is equal to this chairs in subcategory. Okay, let's do one more example. Let's say we're going to do furnishings. All right, let's do another calculated field. I'm going to do another one very, very slowly. Let's call it, what do we say? Furnishings if, right? Subcategory is equal to furnishings. Then we're going to grab sales, put it in here. That's our true condition. So if they are equal, show me the sales. Else, if it's not true, I want you to just write 0. And then we want to turn off the if function or close the if function with an end, right? And we go, let's actually just call that furnishings if and go okay. Then if we bring that in, only furnishings will apply. Right? Now this condition of whether it's true or not is probably the most simplest type of criteria or condition you can have. But you can also do other things when it comes to numerical kind of conditions. Things like if it's greater than or less than something. Okay, so let's bring in sales. Actually, we might do it a little bit differently, mainly because we're not going to be able to see it for this example. What we're going to do instead is we're going to go into the view data, all right, and I'm going to show you exactly what's actually happening when you get to the criteria. So for example, let's look for sales. Where's sales? Sales. All right, we've got the sales here. Oops. I don't want to sort it. Right, I've got sales in here. And what I want to do is I want to filter out any, or I want to convert any of these numbers that are less than 50 to 0. Okay, so if, here we go again with our criteria, if sales, referring to the individual row, is less than 50, make it 0, otherwise keep it. Okay, and we're going to have to show this in Excel once we've done it. All right, so let's go ahead and close this. Let's do another formula. All right, we're going to go calculated field, and we're going to go if sales, right, is less than 50, then make it 0, else show me sales, right? And then we close it off with end. So we do this sales less than, and we go okay. And to see it actually happening, and the reason you probably won't be able to notice the difference in here if I drop it in, right? Right, there is a change, as you can see, if I go backwards and forwards, but how it's actually doing it is important to understand. If I go into this view data, right, this button right here, if I click view data, I'm going to export this just because there's a lot of columns and really don't want to be looking at all of it. So let's just go export. Let's put it into downloads, save. Okay, let's open it in downloads. Let's look for this one. I'm going to open it in Excel. All right. Oh God, I'm getting so hungry. Okay, and we have all the columns here. The only ones we're interested in is really sales and the calculation we just did, which is sales less than. Let's go ahead and look for sales. Should be in alphabetical order. Sales. Actually, let me just do that just so I can find it a bit better. All right. So we've got this one, which is sales, and then the other one, which is sales less than. Let's look for sales less than. Here we go, this column right here. And we're going to get rid of everything else just so you can see what's happening. All right, in here. So for every row of data, it's doing that calculation. Sorry, just going a little fast here. All right, and the calculation, if you can remember, where's sales less than? Here we go. right, is like so. If the sales, which is this column right here, is less than 50, for example, this one, these ones, this one, right? I want you to write 0, and it's gone ahead and done that. And if it's not, if it's greater than 50, then I want you to write the sale value, which is just whatever it is. And the same thing can be done if I put this in reverse. If I go greater than, then all these reverse as well. So suddenly it's going to be 0, 0, 35 to match with this 35, 0, 0, 0, 0, and so on. So that's another way you can use the numerical comparison in here. And there's a whole set of combinations you can make use of in the if function, mainly because, which we're going to be doing next, is the Boolean stuff. So things like the AND function, the OR function, where you have multiple criterias. You can have formulas within formulas. You can have nested functions. There's a heaps of combinations you can do with if functions, but this is the most foundational concept of if functions. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you at the next video.